It's everyone's favourite time of year again, Valentine's Day, when we're all pressured into making grandiose romantic gestures by corporations who just want to rob our hard-earned cash, or for some jerk who just wants a free meal. Unless you're single, of course. In which case, good for you, buddy. Regardless of your relationship status, there's one thing that unites us: the desire for a threesome. That is to say, a love triangle. So with this in mind, we thought we'd take you through some of our favourite comic book love triangles.
Every comic book character has a love interest. Even the ugly fuckers? Jeez, you'd have to be blind to... But more than this, our heroes and villains often find themselves torn between two objects of affection. The lucky bastards. I can't even get a happy ending down the local massage parlour, no matter how much I pay, nor how much Cantonese I learn. It's the same in every language, by the way. But anyways, who made the list of triangular comic book love?
Number 5, Lois Lane, Clark Kent, and Superman.
It's that old story. Guy meets girl. Guy is an indestructible alien masquerading as a journalist. Girl friend-zones journalist and lusts after his alter ego. Girl dies, and guy turns back time to save her. How many times have we seen it? Well, just the once actually. In 1978's The Time Machine starring Christopher Reeve. That's what it's called, right? Sadly, reversing time isn't possible. Personally, I'd go back and murder infant Zack Snyder. Or maybe just sucker punch his eyeballs. Speaking of eyeballs, it's a wonder Lois doesn't realise Clark is the man of her dreams. Instead, Superman takes his catfishing game to all new heights. The poor gal probably doesn't know whether she's coming or going. Okay. Maybe she does.
Despite Clark's subterfuge, what this relationship did was pave the way for countless similar comic book three-ways. But it becomes more complicated when the apple of your eye has the hots for your crime-fighting alter ego. And you're just some nerd? Whilst Lois eventually did find out that Clark and Superman were one and the same, you have to imagine she still gives him shit for it. And let's not even bring up that tape he made with Big Barda. Okay, we brought it up.
Number 4, Deadpool, Thanos, and Lady Death.
Talk about an unholy trinity. You've got the embodiment of death going after an ugly asshole who refuses to shut up, and an even bigger, uglier asshole trying to get in on the action. Thanos even went as far as cursing Deadpool to eternal life to cockblock his rival. It does beg the question though, why are either of these guys interested? Let's see, intelligence? Check. Independence? Check. Full luscious lips and pulse? Not so much check. Yikes. Fortunately, Wade could quickly heal from any sex-related injuries. And Thanos? Well, we don't even want to think about his junk.
They're both punching above their weight if you ask us. Just look at this picture of beauty and health. She's a goddamn catch. Death is a fickle mistress though, and no matter what you do to try and please her, like a typical embodiment of a universal concept, she'll always want more. Whomever she might choose worthy of her inner sanctum, it's gonna be a rocky road. There's nothing stable about any of these people. The best chance of success might be for DP and Thanos to just ditch the bitch altogether and bond with each other. Like a buddy movie? Maybe Thanos could draw Wade like one of his French girls, but with less hair.
Number 3, Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Wolverine.
It's been downplayed in recent years, but there was a time when Wolvie and Scott fought for the affections of Miss Grey, and boy did they fight! We know from the movies that Logan has the horn for Jean, but he's been perving on her as far back as the comics and cartoon series too. We reckon she likes the attention though. Who wouldn't be tempted by a hairy short ass with anger issues? I know my wife is.
The truth is that Jean's above both of these chumps. Scott's a Boy Scout who's gone a bit bad recently, and Wolf is an elderly perv with a redhead fetish. Good luck, Jean. Jean and James's love story went unrequited, but will go down in history as perhaps something that should have happened, if not for just the fallout, and the fact that Hugh Jackman is a sexy beast. And after Scott's indiscretions with a certain white queen, perhaps Jean regrets not pursuing Wolvie. Although, you'd have to worry about those claws popping at inopportune moments.
Number 2, Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, and Peggy Carter.
Before Steve was Cap, or had even met Peggy Carter, he had but one true bae. Bucky the Bottom Barnes. Back in those days though, man-on-man love was kind of frowned upon, so they had to be satisfied with longing looks, long walks on the beach, and even longer times in toilet cubicles. Once Cap gets all muscly though, he ditches Buck and instead focuses his desires on Peggy Carter. You can't blame the guy. This lady is beautiful and has balls. She also looks like Paddington, so you gotta take the rough with the smooth, Steve.
Sadly, it wasn't to be. Cap takes a 70-year nap and Peggy, well, she becomes old and wrinkly. Ugh. Fortune is on Cap's side, however, as Peggy did create some equally hot descendants for Steve to, catch up with. Meaning poor old Buck gets sidelined again. Goddamn Carter screwing over his fun. Literally. No wonder his good arm got so huge. Though with Falcon also vying for Cap's affections now, this becomes more of a love quadrilateral. Maybe in future we'll see Buck and Sam partner up for their own interracial love affair. Just imagine the post-coitus conversation.
You couldn't have done that earlier?
I hate you.
Number 1, Dr. Manhattan, Silk Spectre, and Night Owl.
What's better than a superhero schlong? A big blue superhero schlong, of course. Just imagine. We'll give you a moment. The second Silk Spectre is but an impressionable young girl when John puts the moves on her, so you can hardly blame her for falling for his charms, especially when he can do literally anything. I mean, just imagine. We'll give you a moment. Things are going just great, but John becomes increasingly distant, refuses to wear underpants, and is possibly carcinogenic too. But I guess it's all part and parcel of sleeping with an H-bomb.
He may be capable of amazing feats, but sometimes a girl just wants something, well, a little more human. Enter that hunk of man Dan Dryberg. You have to feel for Dan. It's not easy being the rebound guy after a god. Just ask his penis? The image of throwing a hot dog down a hallway comes to mind. Turns out though that matters of the heart are more than just appearances or abilities. What Laurie is looking for is some human connection, someone to hold in the face of annihilation, someone with a big, huggable belly, and millions in the bank. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we're all looking for? The lesson to learn here is that if arches are rocking, do not come a-knocking.
Because you might see Dan's belly, and I was sat all the way back there, and I still saw Dan's belly.
So there's our list. Did we miss a big one? Or even a small one? Let us know your favourite comic book love triangles in the comments. And happy Valentine's! Be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And don't forget, if it seems too pricey, she's probably not worth it. Thanks for watching!